Hey Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here with Clear Lake Guide Service with your report, my report for Clear Lake for January 27th, 2023. Nothing but good news. Well, most of it's really good news. So let's talk about lake level first. Lake level is currently at plus 4.22 Rumsey. So it's come up over the last month almost 6.5 feet. How could you not be happy about that? So just to put it in perspective, last year at this time, it wasn't up to plus 1 foot Rumsey. 2 years ago at this time, it wasn't up to 1 foot Rumsey. So this is the first time in 3 years that at this time of year, the lake has been up over 4 feet. And I'll tell you what, you can really tell it when you get around the lake. I was out this week, Monday and Tuesday, and I spent quite a bit of time Tuesday on the upper end of the lake. It's so different from what Clear Lake has been looking like, and it's also way different from what Clear Lake used to look like before this mess started. There's all kinds of young willow trees that are popping up all over on the bank that are out in the water. I was in one little bay Monday and on a stretch that typically doesn't have anything but rock on it. There were willows standing almost 25 to 30 feet out into the lake. So I think the spawn is going to be real interesting this year. I really do believe that whatever fish do spawn, whether they be crappie or bass, they're going to have a lot of cover to hide in. So it's just, you know, things are just kind of exciting right now. So sticking with that theme of just talking about the water, the other part of it is until you get down, I'm going to say that the mid-lake section, which we'll call it just above the Narrows, below the Narrows, halfway down to Redbud, halfway down to Clear Lake Oaks. The water clarity is pretty good. I could see between 2 and 3 feet, maybe 3.5 feet in some areas. Those other areas, which we'll call the ends of the lake, watercolor was a little on the brown side still. The clarity wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't awful. I could see 1 foot to 1.5 feet. It just was brown. So, and I think it's pretty much the same way down near Redbud and down behind Rattlesnake Island in that area. I haven't been down there, so I can't tell you that based on what I've seen. It's just on what I've heard. So there's your water conditions. And real quickly, there's not going to be a big change in water level from this point forward, because you look out 2 weeks and there just really isn't a whole lot of rainfall scheduled. Now, you know, we still got the whole month of February and the whole month of March to go through, but right now the lake's not really raising very much. The creeks are running. My Creek, Kelsey, there's a dribble coming through it. Adobe is running. I know Rodman's putting some water out. So it will come up, but it's just not been coming up very fast at this point. It's pretty much at a level point. So that's pretty much it with, water temperatures. Water temp, you know, I launched at the state park on Tuesday, and it was 46.7 in that area when I launched in the morning. And during the course of the day, both Monday and Tuesday, you know, what I saw was between 47 and a high of 51 as far as surface temps. The more down towards the deeper portion of the lake, mid-lake in that area, you know, the clearer water, the water temperature was more in the 47 to 48 degree range. In the dirtier water, especially up in Nice, Lucerne, Lakeport, you know, in the afternoon we found 51, 50 to 51 degrees, a little bit over 51 degrees in Lakeport in a couple places. Looks like we're going to have a change for the colder over the next couple days, this, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, this next week. So I expect those temperatures to drop a little bit. As far as lawn tramps, they're all open. We're not going to talk about them anymore. We won't have to deal with those until this next fall. Activities, big activities going on this week. New Gen has their team TOC, which was rescheduled from last fall due to low water conditions. They are here currently. Their practice is going on, and the tournament is Saturday and Sunday at a Lakeport. It's a big event. What I counted was between 140 and 150 teams are qualified to fish this event. Typically, not everybody shows up, but it wouldn't surprise me with the weather that we've had that, there's going to be a pretty good group of people up here. So if you've been out the last couple days, you've already seen it. This Saturday and Sunday, I expect people to be running all over the place. So they're giving away 2 boats, and the boats are here to be delivered, which is something you just don't see that many times. I think one bass, Billy, has done the same thing with his events up here, but somewhere up in Lakeport, I believe, is where all the activities will be taking place. So maybe not the best weekend to come up and try to goof off. Let's see. That's it as far as activities, and actually going into the first 2 weeks of February, I don't see anything on the calendar. So it should be good to get out and goof around. Let's talk about the fishing just a little bit. Had a decent day on Monday, and not so decent. It was a little bit tougher for us on Tuesday. What I found out, for what it's worth, I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on the upper end of the lake. That didn't work out so good for me. Down in the mid portion of the lake and down, a little bit further, if you're in the right place, there's fish scattered around, but I personally did not find any concentration of fish. We caught some decent fish. We had one fish that was 6 pounds, had a couple of 4s, but man, I'll tell you what, it was a grind getting those fish to bite. So it was all on underspins. I'm sorry, there were two fish on a drop shot, but tough fishing. And what I expect to see is somebody find a pile of fish somewhere this coming weekend and have some good weights. And I expect to see a whole bunch of people really scratching their heads wondering what in the heck is going on. So, that's my report for this week. I've only was out there 2 days. Did catch some fish. Hallelujah. Oh, those of you who are interested in crappie, I just got a tip the other day that the last couple of days they've been showing up. Anybody that wants to get out and fish with a guide, I would call Ed Legan out of Clear Lake Oaks. He's the only guide I really know of who's out there chasing them and finding them, and consistently, if there's fish available, he puts his peeps on fish. So that'll be it. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. Thanks.